What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today we want to talk a little bit about a topic about something that happened yesterday. If you were online yesterday in the evening, you might have seen it. There were some quite big posts on Reddit, on some Discord servers, that included a major part of the content of the upcoming season. There were some very specific leaks about the faction skill trees. There were some very specific leaks about the skills and abilities of new upcoming heroes, especially Dunlinger. Dunlinger is the new celestial hero that we already saw in the previous announcement that we analyzed, and during this leak we got to see the skills in detail. I don't really want to go into detail about those leaks, mainly because, well, Farlight and Lilith Games, they deleted everything already. It's still available, of course, in some Discords. They can't delete it there, but on Reddit they seem to have deleted it already, and they don't want this information to spread, which I can understand. I mean, when you start such a big project, which a new season always is, with a story and everything, and with a big promotion phase already associated with it, you kind of want to release those pieces of information at a time that you deem appropriate for it, and not at some random time when people suddenly release this information on Reddit, because you can create way more hype through it, releasing it in a proper way, advertising it in a proper way. And I think this game had a little bit of a tough time in Season 1, and I'm very optimistic for Season 2, so definitely not wanna spoil that fun now by talking about Dunlinger, which we will have still enough time after the season starts in just about 8 days, that is. And it was still quite interesting how that happened, and that is mostly what I want to talk about today. It was indeed a leak. There were some people that were a little bit curious about whether or not this really was a leak. If we check out the Reddit post, for example, let me quickly skip the rest of this fight. The second half is never that entertaining. Sadly no improvement, but we already placed 9, so that's okay. So I saw this Reddit post, for example: is it an AFK Arena thing to call reveal a leak or spoiler? Multiple content creators talking about the reveal trailer for next season, calling information leaks or spoilers. And of course, if we think about this, a trailer or the new season info that we saw, that is of course not a leak. That is quite intended information. Quite the opposite though of this real leak yesterday. That was really a leak. The Dunlinger information was not supposed to be outside and available already. We of course knew about Dunlinger before, just from the info that we already analyzed. That is the dude, next celestial hero, pretty cool, and according to the leak, at least some pretty cool abilities that I'm quite hyped to test out. But we weren't supposed to know these abilities yet. Those abilities were only released, well, it is kinda Lilith and Farlight's fault, in my opinion. What they did, they wanted to make a pioneer server to give people access to the new seasonal content already in advance, to test it a little bit, to iron out some flaws, some bugs, and to an extent that really worked. They sent out those invitations in game to certain players. I got one. I might have forgotten to reply, and well, they offered me the access, but now I don't have time, so yeah, I am actually not part of those content creators that have access to it right now, which is, well, I'm not sad about it, actually. I'm kind of relieved. Well, I get to experience this stuff during the season, which I think is way more fun. But we already knew about Dunlinger, we already knew about some of the mechanics, we knew about Nara, we knew about Sinbad, and they had this Discord there where you could access the season, and you were supposed to keep everything in there a secret. You were supposed to say, okay, I'm not going to leak this information outside. There was no NDA or something as far as I'm aware. I don't think anybody signed anything, at least I was not made aware of anybody signing everything. So some people understood that as like, well, if I didn't sign any contract, I might as well leak it and spread this information around. Of course, well, personally I have to say I kinda expected that to happen. I mean, with people being how they are, and you let random players in there, not players you know. Like content creators, of course, I mean, you won't see me leak anything, you won't see a Vulcan or Barry Gaming leak anything, at least not intentionally. Maybe something slips out during a video or something, that can happen, but there will not be any intentional leaking from people like this. But if you put random players in there and just a general amount of people that you don't know, at some point you have to expect that they have maybe connections to certain big Discord servers and want to just give information to them, and then you have leaks, of course. So there was not really a surprise in that it happened. It was just that with this invitation progress and this is invitation process really, this was something that was a little bit obscure to normal players. They couldn't really see why the information about heroes, game modes and everything, the Heroic Gauntlet, I think we didn't see. There were some screenshots even of the Primal Lords, but we saw those in the trailer already. About a lot of stuff was suddenly out there and they could see it. And I have to say, for me it wasn't really confusing, it was just a bit annoying, I have to say. Because as a content creator, if you sit there and you know, well, there is this new cool hero, I mean, look at him, it's insane. Eternal Voice Dundlinger, great. And you see the skills, of course you want to make a video, you want to talk about it, you want to discuss it, you want to give your opinion. And now with this new Pioneer server, it is called, by the way, there is not really the option to do so. Some people know the skills. I think there will be leaks, and if they continue this concept, there will be leaks in the future as well. And you were just not in the position to make a video about it, because, well, you can't make a video about leaks. That is just not something you do as a content creator if you want to stay connected and want to work together with a game developer. There was, however, also a piece of official information. We already saw this trailer, big trailer for the start of the season. I don't want to go into it too much, but you definitely should and check it out. It is a great trailer for the next upcoming season, and you can find it on the main AFK Journey channel. For me, the more interesting part is it has 250,000 views already, so they might make a little bit of a comeback here, which will certainly be interesting to see the players' numbers at the start of the next season. So how could they fix that? Well, I think it is a little bit difficult. With the approach they currently take of having like the random players on this Pioneer server, I think we are bound to see more leaks in the future. And I don't think there is really an option for Father Games or Lilith Games to change that in any way. I wasn't a big friend already of the first test run, the Vietnamese servers that are a slight bit ahead. I think it all pulled apart like the hype. But there was always like this hype of a new hero. Everybody got to know the new hero at the same time, and you had this global release that was just like the first opportunity for everybody to see a hero. And what I used to do, as some of you might know, I have a regular job, was to just say, okay, I take a day off, because the release for me is in the middle of the night. It's 2 AM when the new hero releases for me. And I used to take a day off on the next day, and I used to do the live stream at 2 AM. Everybody got to see the new hero for the first time. Let's share this lineup and try again. And people were interested and curious to see the new hero, and of course that is still there to some extent. But now we have like a one copy test that I usually do on the Vietnamese server. And that this video does better than my real test. And I think that is kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Like, you do one copy test with like very little effort. It's just designed to be the first time you see a hero, and it gets more engagement than the actual test video. Which, I mean, of course, okay, it happens. And now we have like the supercharged version of all of this, having the Pioneer server and having like super early leaks of those skills. And not even an opportunity to make a video at all, which I think is just a very weird concept. I understand they want to test it, they want to find some of the bugs so that they have a better start, but in the current way, it leads to some very weird stuff. So, I just wanted to make a little bit of an info video, point out to you guys why there were leaks, why there is normal info, what is what, and personally, I don't really need the leaks. I'm very curious to see the season when it starts in just about 8 days. I will take some time off during the start of the season. We'll do a little bit of a live stream every now and then. We are going to hop into the story, enjoy all the new content. And personally though, maybe as a little piece of information for everybody that watched the video to this point, I am saving up for Dunlinger. I mean, I had the option or the decision to make to either go for Dianel and get the last 4 copies that I need for him. But right now, seeing Dunlinger and seeing the skills that he has, without going into detail, I think he will be a major asset, especially for PvP, but he has quite a strong kit and is such a mighty tool in his skills that I think he will see a meta place, maybe even in AFK stages, definitely though in PvP. So that is everything I can say about this without spoiling anything really. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, and if you want to stay up to date about all the new season stuff that's coming up, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and with that, we'll see us in the next one.